Hey there tech fans, Rick here again with another review, and today I have the UHD-EXB400UR-K HDMI extension kit with KVM functionality from our good friends at Orei. This product allows you to very easily share all of your HDMI media content with a second remote location up to 400 feet away in full 4K ultra high definition resolution over a single Cat 6 or Cat 7 LAN cable. Now, before I get too deep into all the features this product provides, I'd like to start with an unboxing just to show you everything that's included with the kit, and that way you'll understand exactly what you get if you buy the product. And then I'll dive into the features because what Orei's built here is a lot more than a basic HDMI extension kit, and you're going to want to hear about that. I'll also take a closer look at the transmitter and the receiver module. I'll explain the connections and indicators so you understand how to connect it to your own equipment. And then finally, I'll come back at the end and remind you of a few things that I really like about this particular kit that you can use to compare it to others you may be considering. So let's get started with the unboxing. When you first pop open the box, you'll find the transmitter module and the receiver module. You'll find a set of brackets you can use to mount these modules up off the ground and out of the way. You'll find a single power supply, 2 infrared blasters, and I'll explain what those do in a little bit. A specialty cable you can use to connect the transmitter up to your computer if you decide to use the KVM functionality. You'll find a contact card and a full instruction manual that explains everything you could possibly need to know about this solution in order to use it correctly. All right, so let's dive into the features. So for starters, it does a great job of extending any HDMI media stream up to 400 feet away so you can enjoy it in a remote location. And it'll do that at full 4K ultra high definition resolution. In addition to that though, it provides KVM functionality at that remote location. And what that means is you can connect up a keyboard and mouse here, a computer over here, and have the control signals from the keyboard and mouse sent back to the primary location over that same LAN cable, so you can essentially remotely control the computer. In addition to that, they've included infrared blasters, a receiver, and a transmitter. And that's important because the receiver will pick up remote control signals from your remote control and send those back digitally over the same LAN cable to be rebroadcast at the primary location so you can control the media content you're watching. Finally, they've included power over cable technology into the solution, which means a single power supply is all you'll need to operate the entire system. So you can plug that in at the transmitter or the receiver end, and the power required for the other module is sent across that same LAN cable. So it's a really simple system to use. And if you stay tuned next, I'll take a closer look at both of the modules, and then I'll come back and I'll remind you again of some of the things I really like about this particular kit. Inside the kit, you'll find a sender module and a receiver module, as well as a set of infrared blasters. And I'd mentioned before, they're a little bit different. If you look closely, you'll see the heads are different size. This is a larger head and that's a smaller head. The larger head is the receiver, and that plugs into the receiver module. The smaller head is the transmitter, and that plugs into the sender module. It's important you plug these into the correct modules for proper operation. Now, both of these modules feature full metal enclosures, which make them incredibly durable. I'll start with the sender module. On the front of the module on the left, you'll find a power indicator. The minute you add power to the module, it starts an internal power on self-test, which checks all the electronics, make sure everything's working okay. Once it passes that test, it'll turn that light on, letting you know the module's ready to use. To the right of that is an EDID switch, and that's used to adjust the frame rate and resolution, and it's fully explained in the manual. And that's nice because it allows you to accommodate a lot of different styles of media content for transmission to the remote location. To the right of that is a micro USB port for service updates. Every now and then a company will release new firmware that improves features or fixes some bugs. If you need to update the firmware, you'll connect up a cable between this and your computer, push the microcode to this, it'll actually do the update and you'll be all set to go. On the bottom of the unit, you'll find ventilation slots to keep the electronics inside at a comfortable temperature, as well as along either side. There are mounting holes in the bottom for the included bracketing kit to mount this up off the ground and out of the way. On the rear of the units where you'll make all your connections, starting on the left, you'll find a DC input port. Again, you can use the power supply on the transmitter module or the receiver module. You'll plug it in there, tighten the collar so it doesn't pop out. To the right of that is a LAN port. This is where one end of the cable between the two modules plugs in, again a Cat 6 or Cat 7. To the right of that is an HDMI input port. This connects to whatever media device you'd like to share the content from with your remote location. Standard HDMI connection there. To the right of that are 2 infrared blaster ports, IR in and IR out. In the case of the transmitter, you're going to plug the smaller one into the IR out port, and that's all the connections you'll need there. To the right of that is the PC connection. You can use the included custom cable to connect this up to a PC if you want to use the KVM functionality at the remote site. Now the receiver is very similar. Again, on the front, you've got a power indicator, service port on the right, ventilation slots on the bottom and the sides for cooling, holes on the bottom for the bracketing kit, On the rear, again, a similar connection schema. On the left-hand side is a power port. You won't need to use this on one of the two modules because, again, the power over cable technology sends the power to the remote module. So if you plug the power supply in at the sender end, you won't have to worry about that. Or you can plug it in here as well. The LAN connection to the right of that is used for the other end of the cable from the sender module. Just plug it in there and you're good to go. To the right of that is a full-sized HDMI port. This connects to the local monitor at the remote location where you want to enjoy the content. Two more infrared blaster ports right here. In the case of the receiver, you're going to plug the larger one in into the infrared in because you're collecting the signals here to send to the remote site. And finally, two more USB-A ports here on the right-hand side, and these are for connecting a keyboard and mouse up if you want to implement the KVM functionality between this remote location and the primary location where the computer is connected. And that's pretty much it for the two modules. I hope that closer look was helpful. Now, here are a few things that I really like about this particular solution that you can use to compare it to others you may be considering. The first thing is the resolution the product can support. This product fully supports 4K ultra high definition resolution between the primary and secondary sites. And that's really important because most of the content you're going to want to enjoy today is probably going to be 4K. A lot of other HDMI extension kits in the market may only support 1080p content or lower frame rates, so you're going to have to compromise on the resolution that's being sent to that secondary site. Here, no compromise whatsoever. In addition to that, the distance this product can support is 400 feet between the primary and secondary site. That's a great distance, and a lot of other kits on the market have a shorter distance, which really limits how far away from the primary site you can enjoy that content. So if you've got your media center set up in your den, and you've got an upstairs bedroom you want to enjoy that content in, knowing you can extend it 400 feet really gives you a lot of flexibility. Another key feature is the KVM functionality. Whether you use that or not, it's nice to know that remote receiver has the ability to connect up a keyboard and a mouse here and a computer here so you can remotely control that computer from that secondary location. That may be a feature you need initially or maybe something you want to use down the road. In addition to that, I love the fact that they've included infrared blasters because if you're in that remote location, you want to have complete control over the media content so you can start it, stop it, fast forward it, whatever you need to do. Without those infrared blasters, you essentially start the media content here and then run up to the upstairs bedroom to watch it, but you have no control over it. So having the infrared blasters gives you a lot of control over your media content. And finally, I think it's a great thing they've included the power over cable technology because a lot of the media extenders out there on the market today use separate power supplies at each of the locations, and that doesn't seem like that big a deal. But if you're like me, crawling around behind a media center trying to find an open outlet there to plug things in can be a real headache. With this one, you've got one power supply, you can plug it in at the remote location or plug it in at the primary location, and the power needed for the other module sent across that LAN cable, which greatly simplifies your wiring. Everything you need to get started is included with the kit, and it could not be simpler to connect this up. So hopefully you found this review helpful. I like this kit an awful lot. I think you will as well. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, stay nerdy.